Hello everyone and welcome to Financial Insight and to the EY Sustainability Report launch for the 2024 report, a launch that we've just had at 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃 here in Lusaka. I have the pleasure of sitting here with Mr. Mark Libakeni, who is the country managing partner for EY Zambia. Mr. Libakeni, thank you very much for sitting here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we've had the launch of the 2024 Sustainability Report done by EY Zambia. That's the event that we've just had. Can you just articulate in general terms what this was all about from the perspective of your understanding as the country leader?
Thank you. So as EY, we've been running the EY Sustainability Report for 3 years. So this is the 3rd edition. We started 2 years ago, it's 3 years ago. And our report was out of the conviction that sustainability was an important aspect of the business community, of not only the business community, but the general citizen as well. And what we wanted to achieve initially was to generate a baseline in terms of sustainability reporting and sustainability disclosures. Now, obviously, we had to choose an area where we perhaps had a data set or information, and we decided 3 years ago to start with information that our listed enterprises were producing, because that was publicly available for everybody, and that's what we use. So our first edition was a baseline to understand exactly what our corporates are disclosing in terms of sustainability, in terms of what they believe is important to them. And second year, we then said, okay, what's the progress? And this year, we're looking at what the impact has been in terms of, are they still disclosing the same type of matters? What has changed over the last 3 years in terms of what is important to businesses? And you have heard from our report where we're saying various industries have focused sometimes on the governance side, less on the social side, and more on the environmental side. And the environmental side, obviously, is because of the recent climate issues that we've had, and we expected that there would have been bigger shift in terms of corporates reporting on the environmental footprint, lack of power, the lack of water, and how that has impacted business. So that's really been the focus of our reports. But I think more importantly, this year, we've also tried to move it out of it being a compliance discussion to more about what value do you get from actually delving into sustainability and disclosing some of the disclosures that the businesses make.
Okay, so sustainability and ESG is quite a broad-based subject. So I'm sure that in your research and you had a lot of data points to analyze and put together. What were the key findings that you can say were your key takeaways from that report?
So for me, the key takeaways firstly has been the transition. So if I look back to the first year, the listed companies, that was the first year we were looking at their reporting. It was very brief, some of the disclosures were not that impactful. But as the years have gone by, we can see that that's becoming an area of focus. And like I said, for 2020, the 2024, the 2023 report that we are producing today, we've seen a shift out of the social, because the ESG, out of the social, and more around the environmental side and more around the governance side. So we've seen how businesses are focusing on how they are dealing with the governance structures, but there's been a lot of disclosures around the environmental side, and like I said, primarily we believe it's because of the impacts that climate has had over the last two years on businesses. So they've had to explain, for example, why perhaps production is low, or in fact why they've made a good, they've had a good financial year around the environment. I think what we've also seen, it's moved out of sustainability being a CSR imperative to being more business pronounced. So those are the key changes that we've seen over the last year and that are in our report for this year. So it's really delving into the value, and I think that speaks to businesses seeing more value in sustainability reporting.
So from CSR to strategy, as it were.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. And what does this all mean for businesses, for advisory firms like yours, and for the common man on the street like me? What does all this your findings, what do they mean to everybody?
So I think all of us recognize now how important the environment is, or how important sustainability in its broader definition is. So if we have an issue with climate, for example, how that impacts, say, our water. It means I may have water or I may not have water. In this instance, we're having load shedding. And the disclosures in terms of what businesses are doing to manage or to impact the sustainability footprint have impact on you and me in terms of our daily lives. So the type of disclosures also help us understand what business is doing, but also I think we've seen that from citizens as investors, we are also looking for businesses that have a sustainable strategy that generates value, and value could well be from a share price, but also value from the environment in which we live. Like I said, we've been talking about CSR, but now we want to go beyond CSR. It's more about embedding that environment because it's the right thing to do.
Okay, great. And what does the future hold around sustainability in Zambia, in the region, and in the world?
I think we're very excited. Our report looks at what we're doing in Zambia, but also has a benchmark on what other people are doing across Africa and Europe. We are just now getting into these two reporting standards, IFRS S1 and S2, and the listed companies are obliged now to to incorporate them in their disclosures. But I think, as we've seen, we had two guests today, 𝗪𝗂𝗃 and Zanaco, who've taken the leap in terms of the sustainability reporting. And I think their message to all of us was that there's tremendous value in sustainability, in making sure it's embedded in the business. So from an EY standpoint, that is what we want to see. We want to generate this information, generate awareness, but also put the message that sustainability is not just about compliance, it's about value. You generate value. Businesses will generate value from complying with the sustainability reporting.
And on that note, Mr. Libakeni, I would like to thank you for joining us here.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
There you have, ladies and gentlemen, it's the EY 3rd edition sustainability report, and that's for the year 2024, and it's been a fantastic event here at 𝗁𝗲𝗃𝗲 in Lusaka. My name is Clarence, and for Financial Insight, get to know.